when the lights go low. Questions arise on how rules flow. Sean's here to guide in the quiet night air, bringing truth and justice with a steady stare. After dark we roll, the questions ignite. Let's talk about the road in the calm moonlight. It's more than cars, it's how we steer.
What's going on, everybody? It's that time again, and I'm excited to be here. We are talking about stuff and things, but as we get things started, I got to play a song I just created. I haven't even heard it myself. I got to buy a new barbecue. This has got to help me figure it out.
Natural gas splitting my seams, wood pellet smoker calling my name, cooking that meat, it's my backyard game. Gonna light it up, taste the best in kind, smoky dreams messing with my mind, 3 paths ahead, which flame should I take? BBQ adventure, never cooking the same.
It's time to buy.
Propane's quick, it's a turbo-like deal. Fire up fast, got a modern appeal. Natural gas steady, a pipeline of heat. But will it bring the flavor I need on my meat? Gonna light it up, taste the best in kind, smoky dreams messing with my mind, 3 paths ahead, which flame should I take? BBQ adventure, never cooking the same.
I really want to know what to buy. It's one of those things I can't decide. It is. It's a funny thing that that business about cooking meat on the barbecue. It is very personal. There are people who swear by smokers. There are people who swear by, well, they swear by whatever they swear by. But I am very interested to know what everyone out there on the interwebs thinks about it. Now, John Hartley sent me a link, wants to know what I think about what the charge would be for a Facebook video. So I will check that out in a minute. And oh my, I just got a friend for my buddy Steve just sent me a message saying it all starts with the pork butt. You know, it's funny. Every video I've looked at online this afternoon about smokers, they're all smoking pork butt, which is very that's great. Now I want to go for barbecue, but my barbecue's broken, which is why I'm talking about barbecue. Hey, if you don't know who I am, where have you been hiding? My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about police stuff and things. I do that every single day. Kind of my thing. And now I'm trying to, there we go, it just started loading. Trying to make sure I'm on the right windows and all the devices. Got my tea here. I'm sipping tea. Frozen Blueberry says, hey, Sean, how you doing? Kev says, you never answer my question. Is it a great topic to talk about? Kev, that's all I see here. I don't see a question. I just see you saying that I never answer your question, which for a long time was a very interesting way to get someone's attention. Melody says, McMillan can hook me up with a barbecue. Oh, I hadn't thought about reaching out to him. That's a very good point. Tanner, what's happening? Trapaholic, hello. And Bizarro Sonia, hello. Bizarro Sonia sent me an amazing video. You know what? Let me cue that up because I specifically saved it. Oh, what am I doing? Hang on a second. I need to have my background music on. This is the music I want to play the entire time. It's awesome. And it's my, that's not the song I want. Hang on, it's the After Dark folder. There we go. That's the After Dark theme song. If you can hear it in the background, let me know. it's not loud enough, let me know. If it's too loud, let me know. Just let me know. By the way, I shout out to the magical people at Costco. I went to Costco and upon walking in, noticed that a product that I had purchased for my wife the week before was now on sale. And it was considerable discount from where it was. And I went to the manager and I said, hey, I bought something last week and this week it's $80 cheaper. I said, just go, we'll give you the difference. We'll give it back to you. I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, that's so cool. And they gave me $80. So, that's the thing. It's amazing. Truly, truly. Let's see if that video showed up. Give me 1 second. Let me load it up. Hopefully this is the right video. This is not the right video. Hang on a second. It's a video. It's not the video I wanted. Try that one more time. Video. Oh, I had to upload it still. Well, hey. Downloads folder. There we go. That's the right video. It's going to take a couple of seconds to process it. It's a thing. What do you want? In the meantime, I'm just hanging out in the corner and looking at the scene. But it's all going to be worthwhile, I hope. Okay. Let's go back here, go there. Close this, close that. Hey, if you got questions, I got answers. That's sort of how I roll here. Oh, hey, Sean, thank you both of you for the gifts. I don't hear the music. Do you hear the music? Oh, music level was good. Okay. Now I've increased it. If it's too loud, let me know. All right. Here we go. Let's go back. Boom, boom, boom. So Trapaholic says, my girl left me. I miss her so much and you can't live without her. Okay. That's nothing to do with traffic unless it was trafficking. I don't know what to tell you about relationships. Definitely not a traffic topic. Oh, here's the right button. Okay. Here we go. Railway crossing. They cross the front and then they figure, we'll just stop here. This is a good place to stop. Oh, I'm going to back up. But then they stop because they don't want to break the barrier. I don't see them squealing tires to get the hell out of the way. No, push. If you're in that situation, either go forward or go back, but don't sit there. But eventually they go, I'm just giving up. I can't break the tiny little plastic thing behind me. So they get out and run away. Are you... Genius. If you've never dealt with a train, they don't stop quickly. That's shocking. Just shocking. Shocking because it's stupid. Shocking because it's stupid. It's sad, really. Wow. I get it. Sometimes it's tough to make decisions, but if you're at the point where you're going to abandon your vehicle, you probably could have done something else. I mean, heck, they could have made a full left in the time that they had and looped around where there was no crossing. I think there was no crossing there. Let's have one more look at that. Yeah, they could have gone and made a left and just circled back. Like, not legal. They've already broken if it was in Canada, $800 plus fine, I believe, for doing this. But if you're there, I guess panic sets in and they just don't know what the hell to do because they had more than enough time at this point to hook a left and make a U-turn, and this is just stupid. What do you think, Sonia? What's the advice that because Sonia sent this to me, what would you have done in this? What would you have told someone to do in this situation? By the way, if you don't mind, if you're watching on TikTok, please like, share, subscribe, and to everybody else who's on any other platform, please do the same. It really helps us find more peeps. It's all about helping people. So this is what I'm doing since I left the police service last year. I started a not-for-profit. This is all under the not-for-profit. Yeah, I'm doing this because I want to. I want to help all of you. All right. Sean says that Sean spelled A-U-N, which is not the way I spell it, but it's still okay. He says, I'm happy I saw this after dark. Hope you what? Take a scroll back. Hope you rose. Hope you cut off and then, are doing well, Mr. Shapiro. Thank you very much, Sean. And Sean also says Costco has a great policy system and way of doing business. I'm thoroughly impressed with them. Thoroughly. I used to work for them before they were Costco. When they were Price Club, I was internal security for them. I was 17 years old when I was working security for Costco. And I mean, it was wild. It was wild. Back then, you couldn't go shopping on a Sunday. Let's see here. We got Sonia Bazaar on 2 platforms. That's awesome. Awesome. Lay sent the rose and a heart. I wish I could, if I could only, actually, I could probably put this phone, well, then it wouldn't charge. I only got 20% battery, so it's on the charger. Melody says music is there. Good. Tracy says hi. What's going on, Tracy? I sent you the song. Did you get the song? By the way, this music that you're listening to, I made using suno.ai or suno.com now. They've updated their site. I guess they bought the .com. In any case, we can make music. It's so not about doing a separate show, just making music and listening to music that's totally royalty free because I'm the one pressing buttons here and creating it, so no one can say no. I own the rights to it, so they can't block or give me a hard time about monetizing stuff. So if you want to make a song about whatever you want, like maybe we do one about Trapaholic who says his girl left him and he misses her so much he can't live without her. Maybe we'll make a song about that. But I need more. We need a little more info. But it's down the road. I don't need to go down. But you know what I'm saying. We can make a song about anything. Kev says, common man, you ignored it again. LOL. It's definitely a traffic question. So this is Kev. So Kev, I have a feeling whatever you're putting in your chat, whatever coming in, is automatically being deleted because of something you're putting in there that's being or is triggering an automatic removal. Because I'm not ignoring you, my friend. I don't see your question. I'm absolutely acknowledging you. Your question is not coming through. So there are safety things that TikTok does automatically to remove things to protect the platform. So I don't know what language you're using. However, it's being automatically taken out. I'm not ignoring you. Sweet Guy says, wow, what's the fine for that? If we're talking about going into the railway section, let's pull up the rail laws. What is that going to be under? I have to look it up because I haven't looked at it in a while. Railway Safety Act. There's 2 charges there. They moved some stuff around, but failed to give way to a railway. Failed to give enter on land on which the fine. So they've moved it because the 2 fines that I was looking for are not here. There's a $500 fine for that, and failed to give way to railway equipment at a road crossing is $750. Let's see if it's under the HTA now. They've been doing a number of amalgamations or things like, for instance, the what's it called? The Environmental Protection Act is now being combined into the Highway Traffic Act. Rail. Let's look under rail. U-turn at a railway crossing is $110. That's in front of it. That's not in it. Where else do we have railway? Disobey railway crossing signal, $110. Where's the big ones? There was an $800 fine for it at one point. Okay. Failed to stop for a railway crossing, $110. Disobey a railway crossing at a community safety zone, $180. These are wimpy at $110. Where's the $800 one? Where's the one that's going to change someone's stuff and things? Looks like it's $110. I mean, okay, this particular situation is going to cost them a whole chunk of cash because it is the destruction of property. They'd be responsible for the train. They'd be responsible for the damage to the railway crossing, all the city stuff. They'd be sued to oblivion. Brandon, what's going on? He says, hello, Sean and all. I hope you had an amazing day. Brandon, you missed my song earlier. I'm going to go back and play it because I can. This is my barbecue dilemma song.
I'm at the crossroads of my backyard dreams. Propane, Natural gas splitting my seams. Wood pellets.
D-Money wants to know if you can ask 18 plus questions here. You can ask anything anywhere. Just if it's inappropriate, we still won't deal with it.
My backyard again. Gonna light it up. Taste the best in kind. Smoky dreams messing with my mind.
Q loves the beard.
Three paths ahead. Which flame should I take? BBQ adventure. Never cooking the same. Propane's quick. It's a turbo-like deal. Fire up fast. Got a modern appeal.
Anyway, that's my my barbecue song. Trying to decide between replacing my my natural gas barbecue or switching to a pellet smoker, because there's one at Costco, and in truth, I bought it. I dropped cash on it today, planning on picking up on Sunday, but I can undo that because I haven't picked it up. It was just I was going to take that display model, and yeah. So that's the thing. Want to know? Oh, Brandon likes the song. Here's my. He gives his approval. Yes, I'm going to put an album out, I think. What is this one? Okay. For the railway, I recently heard once the arms are down. It's TPA? TPA? What is TPA? I'm not picking up. I'm not familiar with that acronym. What act? I don't know. I got to talk to some friends who are former railway officers. They can give me more. Okay. Sonia Bizarro says, I would keep driving forward or reverse all the way, in my opinion. And I have to agree with you. So a little story time. Once upon a time, many years ago, I was in Florida on vacation with the family, and I was staying at a hotel that was, well, everywhere's got a railway station in Florida. There's trains everywhere. Anyway, railway crossing, vehicle gets stuck, similar situation, because it was a tanker, actually. It was a tanker that tried to cross, got stuck in traffic, and ended up getting struck by the train. Big explosion, huge thing. A sheriff's deputy or police officer from the jurisdiction actually was able to pull a driver out of the car in front of him and saved his life. And that there was a DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, conference in the hotel that I was staying in. So there was like 100 agents there that all sprang into action and took charge and helped. It was phenomenal. And but you see what the devastation that takes place, and there was mail on the truck, so it was a thing where they needed to secure the U.S. Postal Service. It was a big deal. I wonder where there was a hotel I used to always go to, and I can't remember the name of the hotel now. I would go back there. Just stay away from trains. There's a smudge on my lens, and it's driving me bonkers. So I'm going to clean my glasses right now. I got a little too much sun today. I was at a funeral, and the funeral was outside for a long time, and the sun was beaming down, and I haven't seen the sun in a long time, so apparently my skin didn't like it. I came home and I was zonked. I made dinner first, but then I was zonked, and I passed out. Luckily, I woke up in time to do the show. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with the sparkly clean lenses. We can get back to business. Sweet guys from St. John, New Brunswick. Awesome. I love that we're intra-provincial tonight. Normally, my buddy Logan Grant from Brooks, Alberta would also be in the show. We could have gone across Canada, but sadly, he's still under the weather. Burn Trod One says, I saw the video you did a few days ago about lane splitting and lane filtering, but heard TO is okay. It's not legal anywhere in Canada. It's only legal in 5 states in the United States. So lane splitting is absolutely not okay. That doesn't mean people don't do it, just that it's not legal, and you could get charged for careless driving, stunt driving, or even dangerous driving, which is a criminal charge. Generally speaking, it's a bad idea. Yeah. Bad. Big J says, what's up? And Big J loves Costco. which is what I like to hear. Oh, Trespass to Property Act. Yes, I was thinking of something related to railway crossings, so I wasn't thinking trespass to property. But yeah, but that Trespass to Property Act wouldn't apply in this situation, I don't think. While it may be that TPA comes into play if they were loitering there, but this is still traffic related, not paying attention to the signals and whatnot. We're talking about a video. I'll put it up on screen for again because it's been a while and people may not have seen it. This is where a car enters the railway crossing and then gets really confused. Like, do I stay? Do I go? Smart money is you go, you get the hell out of Dodge because nowhere near a track do you want to be. Trains coming and they're like, I should move, but they don't move nearly enough. And that barrier, if they would have given her, it would have broken it. They'd be responsible for the arm. Now they're going to be responsible for a whole lot more. Oh, it's just a bad day at the office. But they got out of the car and abandoned it, which is, by the way, a very smart move because that train's going to go kaboom. And it's just a mess. I mean, I've seen what they do to bodies, which are itty bitty and fleshy. Cars don't put up much of a fight. They really destroy. Yeah, it's terrible. I used to be a crime scene photographer for collisions and collision scene photographer, and it is nasty. It is nasty. Brandon says modified vehicle noise is getting out of hand. Starting to think it should be law to keep your vehicle stock. I don't disagree with you. There's no reason for people to make them obnoxiously loud. There are some vehicles that stock are obnoxiously loud, and then it becomes more an issue with how you drive it than what you drive. You can have, I mean, not legally, but you can have a really loud exhaust that is only loud when you open it up, but you should never really open it up in a position where you're going to get caught. I like the ones in the modern vehicles that you can tune them. Like you can have track version, you can have street version, you can hit buttons and control the noise by modifying the baffle. But those are all factory installed and apparently legal. I question how it's legal, but I'm told it's legal. Yeah, too much noise. There was a guy, I was on the highway. I don't know if I was on my way to Hamilton or something for a family event. And it was just wild as to how loud this thing was. It was already 500 plus feet like away from me, and it just kept on making noise. And it wasn't anything. It was just someone trying to look cool because it had nothing to do with performance. Nothing to do. It was somebody with a little peepee trying to make themselves feel like a big boy. Really, really sad. Funny and obnoxiously loud. Okay. Let's go back here and see what's going on. CN cops can get real mean. Any cop can get mean if you push the right buttons, but I don't think they're automatically mean. I don't think anyone's really mean. A question of how I'm liking retirement. I'm working harder than ever because I didn't retire to just collect a pension and stay home. I don't have a pension. I am off and doing other things. I got a media company. I'm making strides in changing the way people communicate. I'm doing a speaking tour. Actually, I'll be at the Smile Conference in North Carolina. Where would it be? North Carolina? I can't. Smile Conference. If you Google it, I'll be there. And talking about one of many topics, but essentially talking about social media because Smile is social media and law enforcement. So excited to do that again. I spoke at last year's conference. And I'm looking forward to going back. Shout out to Texas Walker Ranger, who the real Walker, Texas Ranger, not Texas Walker. Texas Walker sounds weird. I don't know why I said it, but he's back. Kingler, Brenfeg, Meron, Forbes, Blue Morpho. I thought it was saying to be Morpheus first, and then I read again. Vinny, what's going on? Okay, going back to TikTok. Yes. John Hartley says the trains don't do well with soft, squishy things being pedestrians. Sadly, the ones that I was mostly going to were not people just with an oopsie-doo. I went to one where the guy was just walking on the tracks. He was, I'm assuming, drunk and walking on the tracks and probably didn't hear the train or feel the train, but the train felt him. Or I don't think it felt him, but it did make a mess. And then there was once where a young lady ran out in front of the train because she didn't want to live anymore, and that was tragic. Actually, and the funny thing is, I knew who she was because she dated a friend. As it turns out, I through identification and figured out who she was. It wasn't because we looked at her. There wasn't much left. Let's see here. Lorna, thanks for the follow. Melody, thanks for sharing. And D Money asked about that 18 plus questions. Haven't seen the 18 plus questions yet. You need to play GTA 5 or for YS6. That's Super Duper Bros. What is that? What is GTA 5? I'm so out of touch, apparently. I'm actually considering buying a what's it called? Not PlayStation. PS, what is it called? PS5? Is that a PlayStation? I want to play one of their, there's one game I want to play. I was playing Call of Duty Mobile is what I was playing. I want to play the real Call of Duty because apparently there's some gameplay that is awesome. Like I've been looking at it from a distance. I don't really have time for playing games, but maybe I could make it a live stream because I want to experiment with it. That's cool stuff. Toyota Tundra Lover says, what do you think about car theft? I think it sucks. I think we should have much more stringent. It's not really the laws that are a problem. It's the courts letting people out. But I think that people who are doing crime stuff should be in jail and not get out. I'd be okay with life in jail for this stuff, but I'm a hard ass. If you listen, the sad truth is, people say, well, in the States they could just shoot them. You can't just shoot them. You're not allowed to do that, even in the States. But it would resolve the problem pretty quick. Amar says, is it Amar or Amar? Or, I'm guessing Amar. Is there a mandatory fine for riding a motorcycle without insurance? No exceptions. It's a fine range. No insurance on a motor vehicle, whether it's a motorcycle or a car or a truck or anything that requires insurance, it's $5,000 to $25,000 and up to 6 months in jail. So I'd say it's a mandatory minimum of $5,000. The range starts there, but it could be up to $25,000 for the first conviction. After that, it can go up. Don't do it. It's really dumb. Not to mention the fact that you're probably going to, unalive yourself. If you're someone who can't put insurance on your vehicle and you're breaking that rule, you're probably breaking a whole bunch of other rules, like having a license. Shawnee Boy. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. Shawnee Boy says, my front plate fell off and I didn't know. Then I got a ticket. Can I get it thrown out? How did it fall out? Like, do you have a Tesla and it was scotch tape? Because they actually use two-sided tape to attach it. You're still responsible for it. If you get it fixed, you might be able to go to court and say, hey, it fell off. I got it repaired. Here's proof. And they'll probably get rid of it. Unless you were obviously not fixing it. If you had a collision and it fell off, like, how does it just fall off? Sean went into, what is this? That's funny. But they don't even have a username. They just, I don't know. That joke's not so funny. I mean, even if it's, no, not funny. I usually say, like, if it's a funny joke, even if it's a joke on me, but it's not funny. And I've done stand-up comedy in the past. I know what funny is. Sonia Bazzaro says, my exhaust tips fell off and I haven't been able to get them back on. Can I drive the car or no? You're both exhaust tips? You're talking about just the little downturn at the end of the vehicle? Those aren't required. If the muffler falls off, it's a problem. But just the tip, just the shiny part? Nope. Sonia wants to know if the car will be deemed unfit if a cop sees the exhaust tips not on the car. No. If they look and they see a muffler and the muffler and the resonator and everything from the catalytic converter back is intact, it's not making noise, you're fine. It's just the tips are just basically a downspout, a directional, cute looking thing, but it's not, unless there's more going on with yours. Melody says, arms still coming down means you still have time before the train gets there. Yes, but you're still breaking the law. So when the lights are flashing, you can't cross. And at that point, you're already taking risks that are unnecessary. So if you see the lights flashing, that's before the arms even start moving. But yeah, with the car, with the gates still coming down, you goose it at that point. Make sure, it's hammer down, get out of the way. And you've already made the bad decision at that point. We're talking about a train video. It's a thing. Yeah, that's a life and death kind of situation. Is you done screwed up? Live with CDP says, thoughts on heavily tinted windows. Even light tinted windows I got a problem with. There is a legal limit for certification, but if I can't see in, if a cop can't see in, if the public can't see in, it's a problem for safety. And that's why you're going to get a charge for $110 for obscure the interior of a motor vehicle. And if you're blocking more than 30% light, expect to get your windows or your license plates seized. And then you're going to get a tow home, and you have to get safety again, which means you have to remove the tints. You can't have dark tints on the front or the windows that are left and right of the driver or on the windshield. So I have no time for that. I would ticket that. I have ticketed for that. I have ticketed for that. Gotta enunciate. I don't know if they still have these, but I love this mug. Toronto Police Gift Shop. It's called the 808. Sweet Guy says, you are brave if you cross the border. Why? First of all, my buddy went across the border twice in the last 2 weeks. All the garbage the media is telling you about, they're going to check your phone, get a burner. It's all baloney. Yeah, he paid duty on something. Big deal. There's no issue with crossing the border. In fact, I got to go south. I'm looking forward to going for a visit. I got to go to Disney. All my fun stuff is all in the States. What's this? That Toronto cop should be back on duty ASAP. He did nothing wrong. Which Toronto cop are we talking about? That's Fit with Jay. Which cop? Are we talking about one that was involved in a shooting? Or who? Which one? Because there's so much going on. Melody says, depends on how far back it's broken off. Oh, we're talking about the license plate, Melody's comment. Yeah, but how do you know? Like, the cop doesn't know. He just doesn't see it there right now, if that's what we're talking about. Hey, if you're watching, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And I do it 5 days a week. Mind you, Monday was a holiday, so I didn't do it on Monday. But if you are interested in traffic police and stuff and things, sometimes chicken wings, sometimes barbecues, sometimes technology, sometimes movies, it's whatever we talk about. But I'm here for you. You got questions, I got answers about all sorts of stuff. Primarily, my specialty is traffic, because I was a traffic investigator when I was a police officer. And then I became a media relations officer, so I'm also a bit of a guru when it comes to other stuff and things. A guru. I like that word. Should make a song. Oh, the exhaust tip's broken off. So, okay, Melody, what would the issue be with, say, like, other than the tip? What's the problem if it's after the muffler? Tell me, because I need to know. Melody is a mechanic that we need to get on the show. Google said it was mandatory, which is why I trust Sean Shapiro a lot more. But Melody is a mechanic, and she knows even more than me when it comes to that. I just know from the enforcement perspective, I wouldn't see any issue with the tip being missing. I guess if the exhaust was dumping into the underside of the car, which meant gases were getting into the vehicle, potentially, it could be a safety hazard. But Melody's going to look up the exact rule, which is awesome. Tracy said, my neighbor was in the bus train accident in Ottawa just over 10 years ago. It was horrible. Ugh. Yeah, no, I can totally see that being not so good. Fit with Jay says, the cop did nothing wrong. Which cop are we talking about? I know I likely agree with you. I just don't know which case you're talking about, because when you said the cop, there's 5,000 police officers in Toronto, and there's tons of them that are being, dealt with by way of having to be investigated, and like, I need to know what case you're talking about, and then I have to look it up on the news, because I don't know the inside stuff. It's I'm not up on the gossip. Okay, Wayne says, good evening, sir. Good evening to you too. By the way, Brandon had said, pellet smokers are good. I have both natural gas barbecue for faster cooking and smoker for slower cooking. Well, Brandon, I don't know what to do. Do I fix my current one? Do I get a new gas barbecue? And do I get a smoker? Like, are burgers that much better on a smoker? Because I'm just cooking burgers and lamb and maybe I start cooking chicken. I don't really cook a lot of chicken, but chicken breast. But I might put a whole chicken in if I can, do it right. And then what kind of smoker would you get? The one at Costco, they had multiple models, but it was Traeger. And I tend to go by the adage of buy right, buy once. So I tend to buy the top model, which ain't cheap. And but now I got cold feet. I'm like, I've never used a smoker. Maybe I don't like it. Just saying. Yes, and John Hartley says, exhaust, risk of carbon monoxide entering the cabin if it's MVSA standard. So that may be the issue. And if that's the case, I can understand why it would be a problem. But I honestly don't believe that the average cop is going to look at it and say it's a problem. I would get it fixed, though. Ethan says, I'm clicking on this like it's going to show up on the screen. Here, I'll do it like this. I'll copy and paste it so it does show up on the screen. And by the way, thanks, John. I appreciate the input. Okay, here we go. Ethan says, Sean, I was rear-ended for merging too closely. How can I merge more effectively getting onto the highway? Well, merging too closely means you cut someone off. That's how I interpret what you're saying. You signal, you wait for a space, and people should. This is a big thing. People are jerks on the road. Like, slow down, get out of the guy's way, let him have space to get in. It takes a couple of seconds off your drive to adjust your speed so the guy can enter. Guy, girl, them, person, whomever. We're way too aggressive. People are way too aggressive. First of all, the right lane should be going slowly. It should be doing no more than the speed limit. No lane should be doing more than the speed limit. But if people aren't giving you the ability, first of all, the other thing, Ethan, the other thing you have to make sure you're doing is getting up to speed so you're merging at the speed limit. But in that lane, there should be nobody. Nobody's got business doing more than the speed limit. Mind you, I was on the highway yesterday? No. Wednesday. Today's Wednesday? Today's Thursday. I was yesterday. I went to Barrie, and an MTO truck was doing 115 in the slow lane, in the right lane, because I was doing 100 and they were pulling away from me. And I'm like, really? I mean, they're allowed, but really? Anyway. John says the guy's license plate was on the front dash. We know it. That would be a key indicator. So to Shawnee Boy, who was talking about front plate, if your plate was on the dashboard, then you knew it, and then the ticket would stick. John says when you're out speaking, make sure you shake hands if you come across Frank Slope. I know Frank online, and I've actually I've been working on making plans to go visit him in Arizona. So should I make it down there? You'll be seeing content because we'll create a bunch of content together. That's the plan. It's my plan. John says smoker versus barbecue. They both cook very differently. I have one of each. So which do you prefer, John? I'm worried about making it an all-night affair, cooking forever. I don't like. I talk about going home, turning on the barbecue, throwing some meat onto the pad, and like cooking it in a reasonable amount of time. Will burgers take 2 hours? Like I'm not interested in slow cooking stuff. I want to cook it in a reasonable amount of time. But there was an argument that it's healthier because it's not direct flame and a reduction of carcinogens and all sorts of discussion like that. Is it just because you like the flavor of the wood? And I want to make pizza on it, even though I can't eat the pizza because I'm down another 2 pounds. I'm starting to melt away. I like it. I got 60 pounds to go. I want to lose another 60 pounds. I gained 50 pounds when I was after my collision. I gained at least 50. Actually, maybe I gained 60. Either way, I got 60 pounds to lose. Now I'm really interested to know what Melody comes up with when it comes to the tips. Melody says system fails to direct exhaust beyond the underbody of the occupant luggage compartment. Okay, so we're talking about the and then Melody. With tip and some metal pipe attached is what has fallen. So then what Melody's saying and what we sort of jumped into when we started digging down deeper, I was just thinking the exhaust tip, like the very end. But if it's dry, the concern is that if you have fumes or gases that are emptying under the body of the car, then if there's any kind of issue with seam leakage, if there's any issue where that gas is getting into the compartment, you could actually render yourself unconscious. I'm guessing. I'm extrapolating from our conversation here that's a possibility, and it is against the rule. Like you can't have anymore anyway that those exhausts that exit out the side of the vehicle, they have to be beyond the passenger compartment. So that could be a real serious issue. I would get it fixed. And I know where are you located? What general area? Because I went to a shop and I thought they were really great guys. They're in Barrie, and they could probably just weld on a link of like a section of pipe. They just welded. I did something. It would have cost me like $2,000 for a new exhaust system, and I went there and $300. They welded on a new thing. Mine was a flex pipe, but they. Oh, you're right there. Okay, so you're in. You're right in Toronto. This Barrie's a little far for you. There's probably someone who can do it. There's custom exhaust places, and just give them a call. They'll weld on a section of pipe on it. It'll be done. And they do it all the time. Like, that's their thing. Custom exhausts. And I would get a quote. Maybe it is worth going to Barrie. These guys were awesome. So their exhaust cannot terminate underneath the vehicle. So, Sonia, my thing was originally when I said it was no biggie because cops aren't going to figure it out, they won't even notice it. You're not going to get a ticket. But the problem is that you could get really not like sick. I don't want you to get sick. I called, cheapest was $650. Where'd you call? Maybe go to the guys in Barrie after all, because I was amazed at how well they like it was 20 minutes. They took care of what my needs were, and mine was a flex pipe. DM me, I'll send you their information. Grizzly. I remember it. It was Grizzly, but I have their information. If you do Grizzly exhaust. Oh, Melody says the MTO will likely notice if they want to, and that's the thing. Yeah, if they know. Local shop, Keelan and Lawrence. What are they talking about? A whole new exhaust? Are they talking about a whole muffler? Are they talking about just the pipe? It depends on what you're looking for. But if you say I just want this itty bitty piece of pipe, maybe they can help you out. But yes, okay, you'll DM me and I will send you the information I got. Okay, Brandon, who is a chef by the way, have you done your last job yet? Brandon is retiring from catering, and now he's going to focus on teaching, which is very exciting. Maybe I need to learn some stuff. For burgers and fast cooking, I'd stick with gas as smokers take longer and cook slow. Yeah, I think I got to make a little adjustment. But I've been deep diving into like smokers, cookers, and I'm like, it's just more than I was anticipating. I was hoping it was going to be a wood burning alternative to gas, and it is. But I don't need smoke rings and things. Just saying. Melody says patch jobs are not always possible. There's a lot of if there's a lot of corrosion. Good point. Yeah. Sonia, did they look at the exhaust, or did they just tell you on the phone that it was going to cost $650? Like, it might need a new thing. That's my technical term for what they might need, because it could be the thingamabobber to doodle. My daughter asked me, what is a thingamabobber? And I'm like, it's a thingamadoodle. It's the thingamabobber. Bush Outdoors, what's going on, brother? Bush Outdoors is a great guy. He might be TTCable, but he's also a watch guy, marathon watch. If you're looking for one, he's the guy who sells them. The Hammer Lane to pass. Hello. The Real Walker Texas Ranger says go see Grizzly and Barrie. That's who I was talking about. Good guys. Like I said, they took care of my my flex pipe in like 20 minutes. At a very reasonable price. The Real Walker Texas Ranger says, got a smoker for Christmas and love it. You need to stick around for the day and refill the pellets, but it's hard to beat the flavor. The day? How many bags? Like, it's got the one I was going to pick up, it's got like a 20-pound hopper on it. It's the full bag. Apparently, it's 20 hours worth of, 20 hours of burn. Okay. Ethan says, do all collisions require a report? Depends. What was yours? Yours was, did yours result in collision, or are you just saying randomly? So in terms of collisions, if your collision resulted in over $5,000 damage between all involved vehicles, then it would require a report. If your collision was minor, did not involve $5,000, no one was taken to hospital, no injuries, then no. It could be just exchange information, take care of it yourself. In most situations, you want to make a report. What if the other party says they're going to pay for the repairs and then doesn't? Then you're SOL. Your insurance company is going to want to report if you're going to try and make a claim. Most people don't want to make a claim because they don't want their insurance premiums to go up, but sometimes it's something you got to do. I'm a big fan of reporting. Like, somebody ran into my truck and created a fair-sized dent in the rear. I reported it. It doesn't hurt me. It was their fault. And I didn't even have dash camera on that one. Normally, I would say dash camera is the way to win. If you don't have a dash camera, you should really get one. I'm a big fan of Thinkware. I also think they should sponsor the show. Just saying. The Real Walker Texas Ranger says 20-pound hopper. His is a 5-pound hopper. It goes a pound an hour. Oh my God. And he just did a 17-hour pork shoulder last weekend. Wow. Yeah, I'd lose my mind if I had to stand next to it. This one even has a Wi-Fi. It's a Traeger. It has a Wi-Fi controller, so you can control temperature from anywhere in the world as long as you have access to Wi-Fi. Oh, okay. He's not retired from catering yet. He says he's got a couple of events and a couple of weddings to go. Right on. Hey, if you're watching, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, and we're just hanging out doing the Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark, which is something I just started doing to try and accommodate people who have different schedules. Or sometimes we just chat about stuff. Dash cams are so important. I just learned my lesson after my collision with TPS. Oh, you had an on-duty collision, or you had a work-related collision, or you had a collision with a TPS vehicle. Either way, dash cameras are awesome because they are the witness. It used to be when there was a collision, people stopped. They were witnesses. They helped you. They did amazing things, and nobody gives a crap anymore. They just drive by. I see a collision, I pull over and stop. In fact, I just bought some orange flashing lights to help with traffic, for alerting people that I'm actually stopping. So here's a question that I can ask everyone here. How do you get suction cups to stick on better, longer, forever? Like it's got suction cup mounts. I want to stick them to the rear. I'm tempted to put some kind of adhesive down to flatten out the space. I read online that they suggest like taking oil from your skin and rubbing it. It just sounds gross, but that's one of the suggestions for getting suction cups to stick, because these aren't the ones where you pump them up. It's just a regular suction cup. And maybe there is no good answer. Ethan says, don't trust suction cups outside the car. No, inside the car. It's for inside the rear windows. It's got like it's a 2-part arrow stick, so that if I stop at a collision to help out, it'll just flash and help people not drive into me. But I don't trust suction cups. In fact, I put them on and they fell off like 10 minutes later. I don't trust anything. I have trust issues. Yeah. Oh, no way. Sonia had a collision with a police officer. He was at fault. What? How was he at fault and you got charged? See, usually police will actually, and they should have, I would imagine, not charged you. Because the way we've always approached it, in Toronto Police Traffic Services is supposed to investigate all departmental collisions, and everyone that I've ever done, they've either not charged the civilian party, or they've unless it was egregious, they've not charged the civilian party. Reason being, as I said, what would you do? Oh, so I was the third vehicle. The guy behind me, the officer, was involved too. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that. Maybe DM me. I'm curious to know how that goes. But sorry to hear that. I hope you're just okay. I mean, at the end of the day, at fault or not, interesting to look at that. But at the end of the day, just glad that you're okay. If you're typing here, I'm assuming you're doing all right. Oh, okay. So it's an older collision. Roger that. Melody says, I got hit in a parking lot, but I was at fault because I was in reverse and she was in drive. Really? That was it? That was the determining factor? You were pulling out of a parking spot? There's usually 50-50 for insurance purposes anyway. No charges are laid in a parking lot, so how do they determine you are truly at fault? That's why parking lots were deemed 50-50, like in the no-fault situation. They can say, I guess they can 60-40, but they can't determine 100% fault on private property. I don't think they can. This is a good question for Diamond and Diamond. They happen to be sponsors of my not just After Dark, but Ask a Traffic Cop and Better Traffic as a whole. Melody says, yep, I was slowly backing out. She was ripping by and snagged my trailer. Come on, really? That's lame. And that's where dash cameras are so bloody important, because if you, I think they can do it. I don't agree with these situations. We have a new sponsor coming on. Their insurance broker, and I can't wait to bring him on the show and talk about stuff. I'm looking forward to having him on a podcast episode of Traffic Jam, because there's so much stuff I want to talk about and find out about from an insurance pro. Oh, I'm so glad, Sonia, that Sonia was saying that that she fought the charges and provided police report for proof and won the case. That's good. So, I was told, or it was suggested to me, that I get into the whole traffic ticket fighting thing, and I really can't do that. I'm the traffic issuer guy. I believe in holding people accountable. I have no interest in defending people. But then there's a couple of people who have come to me and said, listen, I need your help because this ain't cool. And I looked at their cases because I'm interested to know, even if I don't help you, like I don't defend you, I can't defend you. I'm not a traffic person, like a lawyer, and I'm not a, what's the word I'm looking for? Agent. I'm not an agent. I'm not a, help me out with what that word am I thinking of? Paralegal. So, yeah, I'm not a paralegal. I'm not licensed to be one. I can't truly represent anybody, but I've gone to court with a couple people to advise them, to try and translate things. And it was just being done because I wanted to help them out. You look at two people, and this is the situation I'm dealing with right now. Two people, same collision. One person gets a serious charge. One person gets a light charge. Why? If all things are equal, why is someone getting a heavy-handed charge that could change their life forever when it doesn't, like, overcharging? I don't get it. So, yeah, I'm going to court for a couple of people, or with a couple of people, to help them. Not representing them, just helping. So, but I really believe that's a rare thing. Like, for me to get up and say, I want to help you out is a thing. Okay. Brandon says, YouTube chef Michael Smith shows you how to cook burgers and smoke them with gas grill. Oh, yeah, please send it to me. I'd love to see that. By the way, Brandon's talking about sending me stuff because we're in a chat group together. If you go to, it's called Telegram. If you have Telegram, Telegram's a great chat platform that's secure. Telegram.trafficcop.ca will take you right to the group. John Hartley says, the rear defroster grid prevents a tight seal. Yes. John says, I have rear arrow and front and side amber strobes in my truck for the exact same reason. I'm a former lineman, worked roadside for 12 years, and I always seem to find myself pulled over someone helping. So that's my life, man. I've pulled over for so many collisions, and I watch other people just take off. And of the people who are well-intentioned to pull over, not all of them know first aid. Not all of them know what to do for, managing a scene. Well, hey, I'm fortunate to have been a cop. I did it when I was a police officer, on duty, off duty, didn't matter. People are in need, we got to be a community. We got to help each other out. So I got to get these things stuck on, and also I got to get an extension cord to run the power to the rear because I got a big truck. And these were not meant for, I think they're meant for a pickup truck. It's a shorter wire. Basharat Ali says, hello, Sir Sean. How are you? Walk safely, drive carefully. Your studio looking awesome. Thanks very much. It's a green screen. I can't really take credit for the majestic background. But it is working for me. I like it, and I do have another studio that I've just not. It's been lazy. I have an office. We've been setting it up as a studio. I got to repaint it. I got to put up some sound treatment, and then I'll start doing stuff at the office. But it's so cozy to come downstairs in the middle of the night and just go online. I like it. You don't even know if I'm wearing pants. No, I'm wearing pants. Oh, Bush Outdoors Canada says, I use my marathon watch as my barbecue or smoker timer. Used the analog bezel as the timer. That makes sense. I was supposed to fly out today, as a matter of fact, out to Vancouver. I was going to Vancouver to the watch show. There's a timepiece show. I'm a big fan of watches, timepieces. And I was going to go spend time there this weekend. It was the Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, then fly back. And I wanted to make some content with some police officers there. But sadly, my buddy's dad died. And today was a funeral, so I was unable to go. And it's sad that my friend's dad died. It's sad that I didn't get to go on the trip. I was really looking forward to it. Bush Outdoors Canada says, long and low heat, 220. I do brisket for 19 hours. I don't know if I have that kind of commitment. Yeah, I don't know. I got to look at more stuff. Toronto Stew says legally cases. Oh, that's your name. Toronto Stew legally cases. Okay, it's your new username. Toronto Stew, how you doing? Real Walker Texas Ranger says that's what I do too. 17 hours at 225, only 25-degree increments on the pit boss. RCS 1189 says, what are the most common unsafe vehicle characteristics that officers should have an eye open for on patrol? Unsafe, I mean, your average ones for unsafe are going to be super tinted windows, although it's not the one that most people are looking for when it comes to unsafe, but it qualifies. If you're talking about suspension, too low, too high, there's actually maximum and minimum limits as to how far from the ground the center of the headlights can be, which most people have no idea about. It was actually, I only learned about that because I was hanging out with MTO guys doing enforcement blitzes. There's tons of things. We're primarily looking for body contact, frame contact with tires, suspension that's non-functional. But anything that doesn't look right. Obviously, we're looking for tires that are protruding from beyond the fender flare. That's not cool. But I'm not a mechanic, so the stuff I was looking for was the stuff that I knew. And then if I was questioning it, like I'd look for trucks and I'd look for major defects, springs. I knew that Hino trucks were, just because my old partner, who just retired recently, so congratulations to John, he told me about Hinos and the fact that they break springs. The leaf springs are forever breaking because it's a crappy vehicle from what I understand. So I'd look at them, and if they had a crack thing, pull them out of service, get one of our CVSA guys. Overloaded trailers were huge. I got some pictures. I wonder if I find a picture. Check this out. Well, first off, let me see if I can find it. No Nonsense says, it is not dark in Vancouver. No, it isn't. It isn't. Right now, time change? No, it's not. Okay, let's see if I can find this picture. And you can tell me if you think this is easy to identify as a reason to pull it off the road. Because I drove by this a couple years ago and immediately pulled over, took a picture and sent it to the CVSA guys on duty. The truck was, or the trailer was finished, just finished. Here's a picture of a trailer, but I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's not the one I'm looking for. Stand by. I think I'm using the AI search in. I'm not going to find it. Because of the 42 results, I can't see anything. All right, no fun. All I can tell you is it had actually, so you know how the front of a trailer usually has a triangle? They had overloaded this small utility trailer with so much sod that it actually, like, it just bent the front of the trailer and it went to the ground. It was terrible. Billick says, I want to switch from paramedics to police. A lot of guys do. It's a good move. I have some friends that are paramedics still. I have a couple of friends. Actually, I've got a couple of friends who were paramedics and became police. One sergeant I used to work with, she was a paramedic who became a police officer. She's married to a paramedic. A good buddy of mine, I have to check what his new account. I think he changed the name of his account, but he was a traffic account, and he was a paramedic before he was a police officer. Want to talk about the tow truck wars happening in Toronto? LS wants to know. What do you want to know about the tow truck wars? Melody says, trained as a first responders, always stop to help. I love it. Okay. Whose fault if I rear-ended but I cut them off? Well, if they can prove it, it's your fault. You cut someone off. It's an unsafe move, right? They can't be responsible for following too close and hitting you if you made an unsafe move. Okay. Did I ever meet Officer Bubbles? Absolutely. I know Officer Bubbles well. Now it's Sergeant Bubbles. I don't think he appreciates that, but he's a fantastic guy, and I used to work with his son. Navid says, hello, TPS. Well, it's former TPS. I'm no longer TPS. In my heart, I am forever. It's like a school, my alma mater. I'm always Toronto Police. Melody says headlamps not less than 22 inches or more than 54 inches above the road surface. That's what I'm talking about. So when people go jack up their vehicles, they violate that, and 54. And when they lower them, they're riding on the ground. They're too low. LS says, "Wait, did you retire?" I did. I left way earlier. I left like a week before I turned 50. So for those who are in the know, they know. Why do you think motorcycles get away with loud exhausts more than cars do? Well, I can tell you first off that motorcycles in general will produce more noise than cars. Their muffling system doesn't make them silent. Like they're an engine with a stick on the end of it. Now, if they have straight pipes, they deserve every ticket they get. It's I think just generally they're expected to be a little bit louder, but they shouldn't be so loud. Like my motorcycle, a 1525cc 6-cylinder with 6 carbs and 6 pipes. Individually fed pipe. It doesn't make noise. It sounds like a blender. It's great. Harleys, they're obnoxious. Well, I gotta tell you, factory Harleys are fantastic. They're quiet. They only become obnoxious when people put a non-factory straight pipe or alternative on. And those should all get tickets. You should not be able to be obnoxious and interfere with the enjoyment of life for others. LS says, "Wow, I remember when you were TPS lives." Yeah, I was doing that up until the end of August of 2024, and I missed the gang. I missed the folks at Traffic Services. It was funny. I was at Costco today, looking at the smoker, and then I ran into 2 off-duty police officers that I used to. One that I knew very well, and one that I knew less well, but still, it's like running into your long lost cousins. It was good. Louis says, Leafs won again. They won again. Wow. How many games is this? What's left till are they getting the cup anytime soon? Like, what does this mean? Are we going to win something? I don't follow hockey, so I'm always curious to know what's going on. Thanks for the update. Stephen Bell says, "How are you?" I'm doing well. Thank you. And Basharat, if you're still watching, Basharat's coming in from LinkedIn. And he is my friend from Punjab, Pakistan. He's a police officer in the traffic unit out there. Just to let you know, I haven't had a chance to follow up with your friend, but I'm still here, and I've got and I haven't received a text message from him at all, but that number is still active. Speaking of which, I was talking about putting a telephone line in for the show, like just having a telephone line so you can call in and chat. I need some more assistance with moderation before I do that. I'm actually also looking at rolling out a new website, which would have the ability to send voice messages there directly to the website, which would then email me and I could play the clips, which might be better than the telephone, actually. Let's see here. Oh, the guy from MGTA 5. No, the guy from GTA 5. So they say, "How do you feel about auditors getting falsely arrested for following their rights?" Well, I don't know if that's happening. I don't have a feeling about it, because I don't know of it happening other than what you just said there, making the claim. I think that there's auditors who break the law and are dumbasses who instigate and cause problems and create, issues where police come out and, waste police resources because of calls made by people who are causing issues. In the States, I can't speak to the Canadian stuff because I only see the videos in the States. Like people who show up and walk around with their ARs over their shoulder. I'm a gun guy, but I don't, and open carry might be legal, but it's really dumb. So, if you're talking about those people, I don't think they're getting arrested. Most of the time I see police officers, the videos I see are the cool cops who go, "I know what you're doing, just checking to see what I have to do," and be on their way. And then I see some power tripping guys who come out, and if they do the wrong thing, they're going to be paying for it. As long as everyone's following the law, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with anybody. But you're saying people getting arrested for falsely, for following their rights. Which rights are we referring to? User 174157 says, "Why do cops care so much about car mods? Like there's more to care about in this world than car mods." Well, if the car mods are illegal, it's a problem. If you're making noise, it's a problem. And it's not a nice thing to do. We don't take into consideration. Bush Outdoor says, "Night 0 dark 30 comes early, 4 a.m. That's my old wake-up time. Have a good night, brother." Bush Outdoors Canada, great guy. So in terms of following the law, here's the deal. The laws are really simple. They're born in basic common sense. If you can't follow them, you shouldn't be on the road. If you modify your vehicle and take it outside of the the legal requirements of being on the road, you shouldn't be on the road. And there's traffic cops that focus on traffic stuff. And you're not going to get a hard time from the cop who's too busy running call to call for domestic abuse calls. They don't have time for your car. But a traffic guy absolutely does, and they know what to look for. So you run your risk of doing stupid stuff by modifying your car, and oops, you done got caught. You run the risk when you make illegal modifications to your vehicle. And I appreciate that you want to make your car your own. Do it legally. And the guy from GTA 5 says, referring to freedom of the press, they say. What freedom of the press? What is the scenario where someone's being arrested unjustly? Because to speak about generalities, I don't know what to tell you. If someone violates the law, they should be arrested. If they aren't violating the law, they shouldn't. User 174157 says, so you're telling me you have never modded your cars when you were young, Buck? I never illegally modified my vehicle. I put tint that was legal on. Sure, I put a stereo that was, and I didn't play it loud enough to blow my eardrums. So I maybe made unnecessary noise once in a while. No, I never modified illegally my vehicle. I like having a very stock vehicle. I like that. I never lowered my vehicle. I never hot rodded my vehicle. Hell, I'm a car guy. I'm a motorcycle guy, and I like them to run right. I don't take a vehicle that took millions of dollars of design, R&D, and then flip it upside down and screw it all up and make it run wrong. Check out Mad Lab Press on YouTube. Perfect example of auditing. Mad Lab Press, if I'm not mistaken, is a former police officer who hates cops and goes and harasses them. You got arrested? Okay. Spencer Gill says, just got an S1000RR and you don't need to mod it. There you go. Buy the right vehicle. Buy it stock and it's legal. Now, what you do with it could be illegal. That's a different story. But, yeah. I don't know what that... Actually, I have not seen that particular vehicle, so I got to look at that bike. See what you're talking about. There's so many... Listen, I've been... I guess I've been an old man for a long time. I used to put stereos in everything I owned. I changed everything. Oh, it's a BMW Superbike. Right on, right on. They make beautiful bikes. Toronto Police just got a bunch of BMW motorcycles. Funny thing is, the BMW Police motorcycle costs less than the Harley and has so many features. But you know what? I don't fit on it at all. I would look like a gorilla on, is it a circus bear on a trike? Like, it would look terrible. I sat on it at the car show, and I was not interested. I'll take my Harley anytime. I have a Honda in the garage, but I'll take my Harley anytime. I love the police Harleys. I want to buy a police Harley, just even if it just sits in the garage, maybe make a coffee table out of it. But I love my bike. The guy from GTA 5 says he didn't get arrested. I believe it was Ontario auditing who did for standing outside a police station. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the video. Standing outside of a police station isn't so much of an issue, I don't think. Videotaping personal police vehicles would be, I would think. Maybe. I'd have to see a video. But what were they doing? Why do people like... What I don't get is, what do these jackasses have nothing else in their life to do but to harass police? The police got it tough. They're already being audited by all the organizations that police them. The oversight is amazing. Why do civilians have to walk around and harass police and prevent them from doing their jobs? I don't get it. But just saying. I may not understand the very miraculous and beneficial service that they are providing to the community. I think they're just shit disturbers. But, it's just me. Yeah. I like what I'll never forget it. I really like what, because this is what was his name? The guy that Mad Lab. I'm pretty sure it's the ex-cop. And he went there and he was harassing cops about bike lanes and getting a coffee. Which, by the way, there's a clip that I have to use from The Rookie, which is a perfect example. I'll have to clip it. Basically, buddy's got his boot, and they're parked in front of a coffee stop, and the coach officer says, "Tell that guy he can't park here." So the guy challenges him and says, "Well, how come you can park here, but I can't park here?" So the rookie goes and parks it like down the street, comes back to the the senior officer, the coach officer, and says, okay, I parked up the street. That's the only place you can get legal parking. And as soon as that happens, they get a hot shot, and then he's got to run back to get. The problem is that when you, the police can do what they got to do, and should be able to do what they got to do to serve the community. Do you want your cop doing a 20-minute hike when your baby's not breathing? Do you want the cop, doing a 20-minute hike to get his car because he's getting called off his lunch to then go and respond to someone who's beating the crap out of you? No, you want the police to arrive at a timely fashion. Just saying. Melody says, OPP are across the road from work. They'll park in the line of trucks and out front and run a speed trap. Park in the line of trucks out front and run speed. Listen, I have no sympathy for anyone who breaks the law. If you are breaking the law by way of speeding and you get a ticket, like somebody wrote to me and said, and forgive me for sharing this, I'm not going to share the exact details. We'll change them up to make it. But he basically said his other half got a bunch of tickets for automated enforcement. And it was from a bunch of tickets for automated enforcement. And they didn't realize it was in a school zone, but the school zone wasn't active because there was no kids there. Do they think that there was an opportunity to fight? I'm like, what you've described to me as someone who has a problem adhering to the rules and speeding. So whether they can get out of it, they're still guilty. What's the defense? I didn't know it was against the law to speed because of school. I figured it was because the school was. No, I have no sympathy. Oh, line of trucks for sale in our lot. What kind of trucks you got? Melody, you selling any good deals on trucks? What kind of trucks? I want a new truck. Spencer says, I respect the police. I've had umpteen warnings for speeding, so I hit the track. Track's the way to go. Take it to the track. If you want to go fast, take it to the track. Shaylele? How you doing? Amanda Panda, welcome back. The guy from GTA 5 says, do you still have to follow the 30-kilometer-an-hour speed limit in a school zone at midnight or only? It's all the time. If it says 30, if it's a conditional sign that says during school hours or during school months, or otherwise, you always have to follow the speed limit that's posted. It's not a conditional speed limit. It's a speed limit. And I got to tell you, I don't have a problem. Like, people have called into the radio show and said, oh, it's only 30K and my car idles at 45K. I'm like, go to hell. No, you don't. That's such bullshit. Oh, Mel, you're at a GM dealership. Do I fit into gyms? I got to say I prefer my Fords. I hope we can still be friends. I think that the driver compartment on a Ford F-150 and related vehicles, I think there's more room than in the Sierras or the whatever. Oh, but I will say this. I saw today, and maybe you can confirm this, that the Astro van, is that GMC or is that also, what's GMC? That the Astro van is coming back and it looks badass. Oh, good. Okay, Melody used to work for Ford. We're cool. My cousin, my dad's cousin, but he'd always call himself cousin, so I call him cousin too, even though I've always felt like he was my uncle. He was a Ford executive. He was a lawyer. He worked for Old Man Ford directly. He was the first litigator for Ford Motor Company. So I used to get Ford discounts. I might still get Ford discounts. Okay, let's see here. The Leafs are one game away from second round, and they haven't won the Cup since '67. Do you think they're going to get it this time? Brandon says, when a cop pulls over a cop and gives them a break, they're corrupt. But when a citizen is pulled over for breaking the law and wants a break, it's okay. It's funny you say that. I think I tweeted about that today. Or maybe it was a comment on TikTok. But someone said, how do you feel about emergency services getting special breaks when being pulled over? My response was, actually, I think I took a picture of it. Let's see if I did, because I thought it was worthy of tweeting it. Yeah, it was a TikTok. It was a TikTok comment. So let's see. So I said, they said, what are your thoughts on officers letting other first responders off on tickets? My response was, depends. What are your thoughts on officers letting civilians off with warnings? I think there are offenses where it's acceptable and others where it's not. If one group can catch a break, then so can the others for small stuff. Not every stop has to result in a charge, and that goes to anyone. Is there a higher chance of getting a break when you're when your job is serving the community? I think that's a pretty good reason to give someone a break. Yeah. So that was my thing. Yeah. I've given officers breaks for minor stuff. I've arrested the family of police officers for impaired operation. They didn't get breaks or special treatment. They got arrested. Now, that wasn't an officer, but same thing would have gone. Everything's on camera. Everything's on a microphone. If you're dumb enough to go get drunk and get behind the wheel, cop or not, you're getting arrested by me when I was a cop. Melody says, Ford is built for tall people. I would agree with you, except for that stupid car that the Ford, what the hell were they using for police vehicles for? That little car, I hated that thing. What was it? They still got a couple on the road. It's garbage. Tribal Chief says hi. Hi back. Waddell Engineering says, my broken leg says that GM is better for my tall, straight leg. Is that because there's no center of median? Oh, Melody says Astrovan is not official. What do you think of those pictures that they were spreading around today? I thought it looked good. Not the Fusion. No, Crown Vic was awesome. I was thought the Ford, they just discontinued it. It was a four-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive Ford piece of crap. I hated it. I used it on the track once. What the heck? I hate it so much I blocked it from my mind. I don't remember the name of it is. Taurus, thank you very much. The guy from GTA 5. Hate. I have a picture. Do I think I can find it? Probably not. Everything I look for in my thing today is not being found, but that's okay. Ford Taurus. Let's see if I can find it. No results. I have pictures when they first came into Toronto. Keyboard. Because the picture, let me see if I can find it. I have a picture of my hand over the keyboard they created inside. But more than that, I have a picture of the fact that when I got into the car, my gun went sideways because it was so small inside the cabin of the vehicle. It was ridiculous. And apparently I'm not going to find it because I'm not going back far enough. Nope. If I do find it, I'm going to post it. Why did TPS stop using the Ghost variant of the Taurus? The Ghost cars just became controversial. Thanks, Waddell Engineering, too. They became controversial. Like, at one point, this white door thing wasn't going to be a thing. The chief at the time, Chief Saunders, made all the cars gray, and the community went wild. We can't see the police cars coming. We can't hide our drugs or whatever and stop doing crimes to avoid getting caught. You're catching us, sneaking up on us. It's not fair. When did we have to be fair to criminals? People didn't like it. It's garbage. Cappuscasing.av says, Sean, is lane splitting illegal in Ontario by motorcycle? It happened to me today ago in Ottawa. It's illegal in Canada. You're not, there's no, although it's not specifically listed as lane splitting or lane filtering as being illegal, it qualifies for careless driving, stunt driving, or even criminal dangerous driving, depending on what the officer sees. Generally speaking, careless driving is enough, but it all qualifies because if you read the description of the offense, which I'm about to do right now for you, careless. The short form wording says every person is guilty of the offense of driving carelessly who drives a vehicle or streetcar on a highway or in a specified place without due care and attention or without reasonable consideration for other persons using the highway or a specified place. Yeah. That in itself describes the action of going through. Then people say, well, it's not exact, doesn't say exactly. No, but as a police officer, I'm going to articulate myself. I'm going to say, I saw the police motorcycle, or I saw the motorcycle going through traffic in a crowded area with, short distance or space between two vehicles in a lane, and they were cutting through. And obviously, that is without due care and attention. Like, it doesn't have to result in a collision to qualify for it. And Melody says, sitting in an F-150, I can't reach the radio without leaning forward. GM, I can reach easy, which is probably why I don't like sitting in the GMs. I did. You're very welcome, Caps Casing. I had a Suburban for a while after my Ford was in a crash. 6 months after my motorcycle crash, I was in a car crash. And I needed a new hood for the Ford, which took like 3 months to get. And I was in a rental Suburban. It was okay. I just didn't feel comfy. Waddell Engineering says, ghost cars don't bother me. Security cars that look like cop cars bother me. You know, it's funny you say that because, first of all, I agree with you. Secondly, there's laws in place to say you can't make them look like police cars, but apparently they're not being enforced. I used to know the guy who ran the security guard enforcement side of the world, and it's been taken over from the OPP, and it's now a separate thing under the, I think, MAG? The Solicitor General's office. In fact, a friend of mine, I've got two friends that work in that office, and I got another friend that just got a job in that office. I was going to apply for a job in that office, and then I decided not to last minute for various reasons. I still can't be away from family. They need me too much. Maybe in the future. The guy from GTA 5 says, operating an electric scooter in Toronto, what are the consequences? Well, you're driving in a vehicle that if they take it one direction and say it's a motor vehicle because we don't acknowledge the pilot project, then you would need license, ownership, and insurance, and you can get up the wazoo with tickets, like tons and tons of money. If they just take it as a prohibited vehicle in the city, it's $110. Depends on how they proceed. If the vehicle goes over 24 kilometers an hour, if it's capable of going faster than that, it's absolutely a motor vehicle anywhere in the province of Ontario, and you're looking at serious fines. Wow, that didn't go well. Okay, tea is deadly now. Melody says, test driving vehicles to ensure you're comfy is more important than you think. Sorry, test driving vehicles to ensure you're comfy is more important than if you think it's pretty. I agree with you 100%. I used to do the same thing for motorcycles, but motorcycles, I also had people take pictures of me on the bike to know if I look like a weenie. That's how I decided between the 1500cc touring bikes. When I bought the Honda bike that I have, the Valkyrie, I got on it, took a picture of that. I had a picture taken with the Yamaha equivalent. It was a Yamaha, Kawasaki equivalent. I got all the big tours, and I looked like a jackass in all of them except the Honda. Honda happened to be the best one by far, for looks and for other reasons. The guy from GTA 5 says, wow, I should get rid of mine. Probably not good to have a scooter on the road that does, that violates all sorts of laws and could make you a heat score. Maybe. Carl Turner says Royal 12, I believe. Crown Royale. What? Are you asking if I like Crown Royale? Because I only see Crown or Royal 12, I believe, but I don't see the conversation prior to that. So I'm not picking up what you're putting down, my friend. Yeah, I don't see it. Trying to find it. On to Migs, what's going on? Melody says there are dealerships with mirrored rooms so you can see what you look like driving the car. Get out of town. Come on. Really? I've never heard of that, although it's great. I think they should, do a full 360 cam walk around of you and then, put it in different backgrounds. Waddell Engineering says, why do security cars need push bars and light bars? I had one tailgate. They don't at all. Ridiculous. I could see having a spotlight for patrolling properties, but you don't need orange lights. You don't need any lights flashing. But on private property, they can do what they want. On the road, they cannot. Oh, they can't do anything they want. Stephen Bell says there was a shooting at Pearson's International Airport today. Oh, no kidding. Actually, that's not true. I acknowledge that. You said it. I had to think about it for a second. I realized I actually saw footage of that at one point. I don't know anything about the case, though. Brandon says, I drive a GMC Sierra 1500 elevation diesel, and the fuel mileage is awesome. Really? Now, I wonder if that's like my buddy just got one of those similar vehicles. But like at 150,000 kilometers, they got to like take the body off the frame to do a change. Like there's something that doesn't sound right, but he has a diesel. He loves it. Brandon says, Sean, I'm calling it a night to everyone. Have a good night and a fantastic tomorrow. Thanks very much, Brandon. And just looking at the time, it's 1:20. It's an hour and 24 minutes into the show, which actually means I too should wrap things up and go spend some time upstairs before I crash out. I spent way too much time in the sun today, and I am just zonked. So I think chilling out for an hour before going to bed is what I'm going to do. I'll shut the brain off and go hang out. But I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to do the last show of the week before the weekend. Yeah. That's what I'll do. Honda Mig says, hey, Sean, great to see you. Sorry I've been off. My mom passed away last week, and I've been keeping off of social media. Honda Migs, I'm sorry to welcome you to the club. I lost my mom a while back, and I'm very sorry for your loss. That is, it's horrible. I was at a funeral today. My buddy's dad died, and there's no good way to deal with it other than you go through it. You do what you got to do to deal with your emotions and keep moving. It doesn't. Sadly, I don't think it gets easier. Was it something that was was abrupt? Was it a shock? Was it a health thing that took a long time? Like, were you expecting it? Sorry if my mom was sick for a while, and unfortunately it caught up with her. And my buddy's dad had cancer, and it got quite aggressive. So, yeah, part of life. But it's a sad part of life. And I've dealt with way too much death within my family and within dealing with investigations involving, traffic fatalities. It's just, I get it. Again, sorry for your loss. Waddell Engineering says, I gave the GM 1500 diesel. I gave the GM 1500 diesel. My average is 7. Is that 7 liters per 100 kilometers of diesel? I wonder, maybe, see, my thing is so I'm working on a series called Sean Buys a Car, and it's going to be on the Brian Max channel. And we're talking about what can I fit into? What vehicle can I buy that I fit into comfortably? And there's not that many. So we're going to be test driving some new vehicles. Looking forward to it. Melody says, Waddell has the GM 3-liter Duramax. Dion, what's going on? David Ward, hey. Sierra AT4. We have some AT4 SUVs that are undercover police officers. Bernhard22 says, I hear York Regional Police is hiring auxiliary officers if people are interested. That's fantastic to hear. So, by the way, Bernhard, who is in the process right now of going through the training to be a special constable, if I'm not mistaken, and with York Regional Police. And York Regional Police is a fantastic organization. I grew up in York, which is just north of the city of Toronto, and I've always been back and forth, living in the city of Toronto, living in York. Shout out to York, and shout out to the folks who are interested in, or I guess a call to anyone interested in volunteering their time to become a police auxiliary constable. Best volunteer experience, and I did it for 12 years. Best thing. If you want to have a unique way to serve your community, like better than there's nothing like being an auxiliary officer. You don't have to be a police officer later. You don't have to convert. You can be an auxiliary officer for your entire career. I've toyed with the idea of getting back into policing by way of volunteerism. I feel like there's a little something missing in my life when I'm without the uniform. I might have to become an auxiliary. I don't know. Feels weird. I'm in a weird place without my auxiliariness, or without my police. Like, just being out on the outside now, it's weird. Stage 4. 5. How old was your mom? We thought we had more time, but unfortunately the tumor caused internal bleeding and abuse. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you always hope for more time. You know what's amazing is I had hope. I have a couple of videos of my mom, like a handful, and that's the only things I hear her voice, and it breaks my heart. But I wish I had more. Video wasn't a thing when I was growing up, and even afterwards, like little glimpses, they're the most magical things. Oh man, it's hard. Well, Honda Megs, send me a DM if you ever need to talk. Part of the club of losing a parent. It's not easy. Although I will say it's better than losing a kid. a friend of mine, or my buddy today, he said the good thing is that if there's a positive thing is that he's burying his dad, and his dad didn't need to bury him, and that's you think about the parents that have to bury their children. You know, you think it's tough to lose someone who had a full life, or even a not as full life as they could have when they're taken too soon, like someone who gets last minute news and gets taken from us. But you think about the parents of small children, and I've dealt with so many of those. It's heartbreaking. 3 weeks to go for training, Bernhard. That's awesome. Yeah, let me know when your graduation is. I'd love to come out and shake your hand. The guy from GTA 5 says, "What do police hiring background checks look like?" Background checks, looking for everything in your history. Find out also, if you lied. Depending on the process, they could be knocking on your neighbor's doors and talking to everyone on your street to find out if you're a pain in the ass or a good person. They get pretty in depth. Waddell Engineering says, "I drive a lot of long distance. It's super efficient. The lowest I got on the 401 was 5 liters. Oh, downhill, yeah." Melody says, "Lost my dad 6 months ago. It's been a long 6 months." Sorry for your loss too, Melody. I didn't know. It is, I lost my mom in 2015, and it's still hard. I don't think it gets easier. Some people say time heals, and no. You just cope with it better, but it's not healing, in my opinion. It's tough. Stephen Bell gives his condolences, and Wayne C says good night, and reminds me that I should probably say good night too. All right, we went dark on the end, but it's good things to talk about, and I'm now part of the one parent club along with Melody and Honda, assuming that we're all got one left. You just make sure you're there for the surviving parent. It's tough. It's tough to lose your partner. Oh, you lost your dad after losing your mom, so you got no parents left. I'm even more sorry. 17 years is a long time. Does it not feel like it was yesterday? For me, it feels like it was yesterday. My mom was a big part of my life, so my dad was a big part of it too. But my mom was such a driving force of good. It's tough, but the memories are still there. Just it's funny, and I'm sorry to get all mushy, but it's not that I am the stuff that brings me down when I talk about my mom is the fact that she got ripped off. She didn't get to see my kids. She didn't get to see them grow up. And when I introduced my mom to my eldest, my youngest didn't get to meet her. When I introduced her, she said, she was so over the moon. But she said, she knew she wasn't going to make it. She said that she only wishes she was able to talk to her later when she was, someone who could talk. She met her when she was a newborn. And she was sad that she was never going to get that opportunity to have a conversation. Who knows? All right. With that, I'm going to say goodnight and come back refreshed after sleeping for a good long night. Have a great night. Be safe. Drive sober. Drive safe. Park legally and all that jazz. And if you got people in your life that you love, make sure they know it. Don't wait to tell them. Have a good night.